shortly.
You say a video of members of Congress body slamming ICE
That's correct.
officials?
That's correct, sir. It's disgusting.
Folks, the arrest of Mayor Baraka by DHS and ICE is a stark reminder that none of us are above the law. And by law, of course I mean whatever the Trump admin decides is law, because apparently we live in a reality where they can just make stuff up and we all have to live with the consequences. Although the mayor was released a few hours later, the outrage of his arrest and the clear overreach by ICE has sent chills down the backs of most informed Americans. Couple this with Stephen Miller suggesting that Trump is looking into suspending habeas corpus.
Well, the Constitution is clear, and that, of course, is the supreme law of the land, that the privilege of the writ of habeas corpus can be suspended in a time of invasion. So I would say that's an option we're actively looking at. Look, a lot of it depends on whether the courts do the right thing or not.
If they go through with that, we can be sure that there'll be more than just one mayor arrested. We've already allowed them to suggest the country is under invasion by cartels. I mean, clearly that's just pretense to suspend habeas corpus, which is what allows due process to challenge an unlawful arrest. If this is suspended, the mayor of Newark, for example, could have been held indefinitely with no recourse to challenge the arrest in court. This isn't just a slippery slope, it's a greased up sheer cliff, and we are barreling down it like we're Annie Taylor and it's Niagara Falls.
A frenzied search goes on, but only the battered barrel comes to the surface.
The spokesperson for DHS is now suggesting on live television that there are more arrests coming for sitting U.S. congresspeople for what she claims is a body slam that happens on the body cam footage. Well, I have the body cam footage for you, and you can decide whether or not she's a liar like the rest of her admin, or actually someone pointed out in the comments that it's not an admin, it's a regime, and that person is 100% correct. If you want to join our resistance here and stay informed on the news that MAGA hates to hear, consider subbing to Really American. We really appreciate your support, and it's more important than ever to know what your enemy is up to.
So, as you said here today and in your statement, that they stormed the gate and broke into the detention center, according to the statement. Was anybody else arrested other than the mayor of Newark?
There were multiple people arrested. And Victor, I think that we should let viewers know there will likely be more arrests coming. We actually have body camera footage of some of these members of Congress assaulting our ICE enforcement officers, including body slamming a female ICE officer. So we will be showing that to viewers very shortly.
You say a video of members of Congress body slamming ICE
That's correct.
officials?
That's correct, sir. It's disgusting.
Okay, and so if you have that video, are you suggesting that members of Congress will be arrested who were there yesterday?
This is an ongoing investigation, and that is definitely on the table.
Who has the video?
ICE does, and we will be releasing that very shortly.
Okay. So there's a member of Congress, LaMonica McIver, who says that she told USA Today that ICE asked the mayor to leave. He did. And from the video that I've seen, when he was taken into custody, he was on public property. He was no longer on the private property of Geo Group. So if he was asked to leave and then he complied, why then take him into custody?
Whether you are a civilian, a mayor, or a member of Congress, if you are storming an ICE detention facility and putting law enforcement and detainees at risk, you can bet that we will arrest you and you will face the law. You will face justice. These other members of Congress will as well, as will the other protesters, some of which were arrested.
The only thing that law enforcement was put at risk of was being held accountable. It should be noted that the mayor was there in his official capacity as the chief executive of the city to deliver a summons to the facility. Baraka and other city officials went to Delaney Hall to serve summonses on its private owner-operator. The summonses assert that GEO has refused to grant fire and code officials access to Delaney Hall and has placed a padlock on the gate, violating state law. What ICE did by arresting the mayor is assist a private prison in breaking state law by refusing to comply with city inspections. This is a federal agency assisting a private entity in breaking state law. They quite literally are disregarding laws that don't suit them while trumping up the opposition on false charges. And it's provably false, because DHS did give that body cam footage to Fox News, of course, but the footage doesn't appear to show any female ICE agents getting body body slammed. Instead, it shows what we already suspected: police brutalizing Congress members and city officials for the crime of doing their jobs and challenging the oppressors. You guys tell me in the comments if you think there's any example of Congress members assaulting anyone in this footage, or if it's actually the other way around.
To a congresswoman like that, and you gotta put your hands on me, you will pay. You guys are creating this. And this harassment, you know that's wrong.
You guys are welcome to rewind the footage and see what you can piece out, but it seems pretty clear to me that the Congresswoman was upset because one of the DHS or ICE officers who was wearing green touched her, insulted her, and she was yelling at him. Ms. Perez, who appears to be a supervisor for ICE, stepped in and tried to calm down the congressperson. The congresswoman clearly says that she was assaulted and calls the guy a motherfucker, and then he tries to charge her up and gets pulled back by his guys. At no point was Ms. Perez, the female ICE officer who appears to be the supervisor, at no point was she body slammed or assaulted by the congressperson. I don't know what you guys saw, but I didn't see any officers getting body slammed. Although, hell, what would be the problem with that? We have a president and education secretary who are both on WWE. These people have a special ability to lie to themselves so well that their eyes see something that isn't there. A spokesperson for Watson Coleman, the congresswoman that you just saw in red, said her office had not heard from DHS. It had only seen the public statements by the department. In response to those, Watson Coleman's office said that it had reviewed body cam footage from DHS, and that proves that DHS had been lying about this incident, blatantly lying. Mayor Baraka told reporters this morning, other officials shouldn't fear that they're going to be arrested or judges arrested because they're behaving in their conscience. This is authoritarianism. There's no other way to describe what's happening in this country right now but authoritarianism. The mayor of the state's largest city spent several hours in custody on Friday night, where he was fingerprinted and had his mugshot taken, a city spokesperson said. Baraka has denied any wrongdoing and told reporters on Saturday that he was invited by the people who owned the property. Somebody allowed me to be there, he said. I didn't climb the fence. I didn't kick the door down. I didn't bust a window like their friends did at the Capitol. They are going to try to twist this in every direction to justify this arrest, but there just isn't any reason for it. You cannot trespass a city official who is there serving you. You cannot assault Congress members and then assault them when they defend themselves. If these actions go unpunished by Congress, there is no telling the violence and the depravity that we have in store for us this summer. I'm Tony Hinderman with Really American, and I'll catch you next time.